Please note these are a form of social commentary and not in any way meant to put down the ideas and ideals of any political or gender identity. You are all fair game in the eyes of the wicked, and we see you. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go.
Oh shit! I'm Pickle Rick! Motherfucker!
You are now watching Useless Episode STS.
Because it leads to the future. Not a future that will be, but one that might be. This is not a new world. It is simply an extension of what began in the old one. It has patterned itself after every dictator who has ever planted a written imprint of boot on the pages of history since the beginning of time.
Dog will hunt. Fuck, suck, and eat butt.
Stupid. Yeah, what? Very stupid.
Welcome to the desert of the real.
All right, how's it going, my beautiful starflies? All right, another day. Welcome to the 1st of December. No, I'm not surprised it's the 1st of fucking December. I'm not a weatherman, and I'm not an anchorman. Seriously, that shit is so fucking, like, I get it. You want to be on John Oliver. I get it. Like, you know, John Oliver's Last Week Tonight has a running gag that they've always done about how the media, the local media, your local Channel 7 or whatever, always happens to say the same shit. And they always say, like, can you believe it's the first of this or the first of that? Now, this is in no way a coinky-dink, you know. This is, if anything, it's just more proof that all media is just parroting back the same shit. Because, of course, they want us all to eat the same one-size-fits-all bird, you know, chicken feed. I'm sorry for starting it off with a little pessimism. It's not really that cool, but thank you. All right, so what we're talking about today is debate, and why debate is so absolutely crucial in today's society, where today you catch feefees over every motherfucking thing. Now, maybe not you, but if you are experiencing motherfuckers catching way too many feefees around you, you have to know where you stand on that. And also you have to know how to accept life, take it for what it's worth, and enjoy it. Now, there are what's called, you know, intimidating personalities. There are weaker personalities. And then, of course, there's weaker personality types. Now, when it comes to debate, none of this matters. Your personality type, all of these things should be put on a shelf, and the instant you are in a debate, emotion goes right out the window. Get rid of it. It's not going to help you. It's just going to confuse you. You have to accept something before you can take it apart. So, if someone gives you a VCR and asks you to fix it, and you grab the VCR, you have to grab that VCR, look at it, touch it, open it up, play with it, and then you can assess. But you cannot do that without insight. Now, opening it up is the point of insight. Now, in debate, the most important thing to do here is, because everything gets point values, is to make sure you stay on a certain topic and never let your opponent derive from that topic. Now, with comedians, we do this every day. It's not a problem, because that's how we have to accept life. In order to be a functioning human being, you have to be playing devil's advocate at all times. So when you want to understand, why did someone get offended by something, or why did my girlfriend get so upset by the way I said this, you stop, You analyze and you assess. Now, with a woman, I'm sorry, I forgot. I'm doing it this way now. Fuck you, Rush Limbaugh. This is my thing now. I have a gold mic. So yeah, I love Spiritual Essence, by the way. Thank you so much for the mic. I love this thing. I really do. Thank you so much, God. I love you. So yeah, what's it called? So we're talking about debate. And so what I want to show you is two comedians going into what could have been a debate. And now Joe Rogan is famous for his opinions and with his interviews. Now, the person that he puts on is Bill Burr, one of the top comedians, in my opinion, of all time. He is easily on the top 10 best comedians of all time. And so I want you to see how, A, he does not get pulled in by Joe Rogan's bullshit. 2, he analyzes the situation, switches it around, and turns it into comedy fucking gold. It is fucking beautiful. And the reason why is because Bill understands this is my friend. I should be able to talk to him any way that I want because he should know that we're friends and we can laugh. Okay? That is the instant first thing you should be thinking of. And that is a simple way of taking your emotions and putting them on a fucking shelf because you don't need it. And if anything, you're just going to catch feefees, you know, getting some bullshit with a friend for what? Because you caught feelings in a debate. See, that's pathetic. You don't need to. And I understand that the world is filled with shit that's constantly motivating you to feel worse every day. So I understand that. But again, I go through that too. Again, you have to play devil's advocate. You have to empathize with your opponent. Understand them first. You cannot fix the VCR without knowing what it is. So let's watch Bill Burr twist this motherfucker around and just instantly nails it. And Joe Rogan is not mad. He's not upset. He is laughing because he tried to pull in one of the best comedians and one of the smartest motherfuckers I've ever seen. This man took down the entire city of Philadelphia in a 15-minute set. And that's how, I mean, Bill Burr should have been famous. But he went to Philadelphia and they booed him. And he turns it around on the entire city. And knowing that he has worked too goddamn hard for this, just to be booed off stage by a bunch of asshole drunks. So he switches it on him just like he's about to do to Joe. And the people at the show reacted just the same way that Joe Rogan's going to react. Because you can't help but fucking laugh. Because he is so damn good. He manages to pull out the emotion, put himself into the situation, and make fools of both of them. And it's hilarious.
You want people to walk down the street with a mask on?
Let's not start this, John.
Do you though?
Let's not start this. Okay.
Let's start it.
I'm not going to sit here with no medical degree, listening to you with no medical degree, with an American flag behind you, smoking a cigar, acting like we know what's up, better than the CDC. And then everybody wore the fucking masks. This is like rollerblading. Everybody fucking rollerbladed, and then there was that one fucking homophobic joke, and then everybody acted like they never did it. And then 100 million fucking rollerblades got thrown into the fucking ocean. We all wore masks, and then all of a sudden, people are fucking sitting there. What? You don't have the body type for it, dude. Your fucking knuckles would scrape on the ground. Even with that extra 2 inches.
You see, okay, now why is this so fucking important? Well, it's important because he's showing you that, A, you're not going to drag me into this fucking argument. I am not the person to be an authority on the subject, so I'm not going to pretend to be. Now, Joe Rogan doesn't pretend to be an authority on anything, but he does let his curiosity run wild, and I think we should all do that as human beings. But again, when you see it done in perfect symmetry, the way Bill just did it, That's diverting the whole issue and turning it into fucking comedy. So it's like, well, why did that happen the way it did? Well, if you ask me, it's because Bill Burr is a comics comic, you know, like Mitch Hedberg, like fucking Bill Hicks. Sorry. You know, guys that can make a comedian laugh. There are very few of these guys out there left today. Most of them have passed away. Guys like Gilbert Gottfried, guys like Norm Macdonald. And again, I don't care what your feelings are. What matters is factual basis. And so the actual facts are neither of them hold a degree. Neither of them know what the fuck they're really talking about when it comes to the microbiology and the actual sciences. And he's not going to pretend to do so. So by flipping that around and taking the emotion out of it, he added a sense of dilution. So what it did was it diluted the issue and allows you to see it from more of a third-party perspective. It's taking yourself out and seeing it from above. And this is a great way to look at everything. I don't care if you're sitting on a toilet or if you're half asleep. Start thinking about shit like this. Think about little mind traps. You know, for instance, you can make a person stutter if you want to. It's really easy. You make sure that your certain framings will have to get a certain response. And so all of these are little mind games, right? And so I love how Bill Burr does not play with that shit. And so rather than getting emotive, rather than getting offended, rather than getting into it and actually feeding the machine, he stops and just tells it like it is. And it was beautiful. And you could definitely tell that Joe is all about it because it was perfect. It was a perfect landing.
You want people to walk down the street with a mask on?
Let's not start this, Joe.
Do you, though?
Let's not start this. Okay.
Let's start it.
I'm not going to sit here with no medical degree, listening to you with no medical degree, with an American flag behind you, smoking a cigar, acting like we know what's up better than the CDC. And then everybody wore the fucking masks.
All right.
This is like rollerblading. Everybody
see the face, and you see his face. Like, he just instantly goes, okay, no, I'm not doing that. And then looks around, addresses his environment, and then nails the shit out of it. And that is what a human being is capable of if you are on par with guys like Bill Burr. And since Joe Rogan is a comedian, he is still a fucking fan. All comedians are huge fans. That's what every artist starts out with. We all start out as fans. So again, you're watching him just destroy this debate without even playing in it. So one more time.
You want people to walk down the street with a mask on?
Let's not start this, Joe.
Do you, though?
Let's not start this. Okay.
Let's start it.
I'm not going to sit here with no medical degree, listening to you with no medical degree, with an American flag behind you, smoking a cigar, acting like we know what's up better than the CDC. And then everybody wore the fucking masks. This is like rollerblading. Everybody fucking rollerbladed, and then there was that one fucking homophobic joke, and then everybody acted like they never did it. And then 100 million fucking rollerblades got thrown into the fucking ocean. We all wore masks.
Okay, now watch you just saying that about the rollerblade. Now watch how Joe tries to say, I never rollerbladed.
And then all of a sudden, people are fucking sitting there. What? You don't have the body type for it, dude. Your fucking knuckles would scrape on the ground.
No, look at the instant.
Even with that extra 2 inches.
No, you see, and that is how you handle a situation where you don't want to argue with your friend. You want to make him laugh. And you know Bill Burr is not here for that. And Bill Burr has plenty of his own opinions. But instead of adding to it and feeding the machine, he put his emotions away, addressed his situation, even making fun of the flag in the background. Because that's called mindfulness. What he did was he stopped. He analyzed his situation. You look around your surroundings, know exactly where you are. Focus on the very smallest of things. And your mind opens right up. It really does it because you took emotion and you moved it out of the way. Emotion clouds the mind. It always does. Get it out, especially if you're in an argument or a debate. Just move it over. I know that sounds really crazy, but try to think of everything as a play. Try to think of it as, okay, so for the next 30 minutes, this is not real. We are actors, and I'm just going to nail this son of a bitch. And so yesterday we had the debate with Gavin Newsom and Ron DeSantis. So I want to show you two comedians having a reasonable debate. Now you're going to see an unreasonable debate. And this is why they don't have the same reaction, because there's no honesty on one person's part. There is no, rather than lack of emotion or putting your emotion aside, I honestly think Ron DeSantis is a psychopath. And so when we watch these little jabs that he's getting, notice he licks his teeth every time. This is why I straight up think he is a Florida Gator or some shit, because like the shit he does that he doesn't even realize he's doing is creepy as fuck. So yeah, I want you to see this is, you know, they're both rich dudes. Of course, they're rich white dudes, so neither of them should have any kind of inferiority complex, right? No, DeSantis still has that Napoleon complex, and you can tell because he's finally letting himself be shorter, but you can tell he's got that short man complex. See, I'm short. I totally understand it, but I got out of that when I was like 10 because I realized my personality made me far bigger than who I really was. Just like Tyrion Lannister was a dwarf who had the biggest shadow, and it wasn't because of his stature; it's because of who he is.
Hey, Ron,
in California.
Ron, I'm happy that you continue to talk. Let's talk a little bit about Bidenomics, because I'm happy to take that on right now as well. And I think it's
You're
a fair
a big
point.
supporter of it. That's I appreciate you acknowledging
14 million jobs, 10 times more than the last 3 Republican presidents combined.
Because he had
You see that the head bobbing, the little head weaving. So he's feeling confident. He's feeling himself. But remember, this is the very beginning of the debate. So you can see every time, notice that his eyes are always fixated on the camera. He is so obsessed with image that he actually carries an index card. This is true. A fucking index card that says be likable. That's how unlikable he is naturally.
115,000 manufacturing
the jobs were because of the COVID
3.9%.
Are you kidding me?
3.9% unemployment as he continues to talk over me.
Now, the person that'll continue to talk over you, it is a strategy in debate, and you do that. It is called shielding because you're trying to deflect everything the person's saying so it gets kind of misconstrued. Then you can actually pull out bullshit by misunderstanding and then run with it. That's called reframing. But DeSantis is not smart enough to know how to reframe.
I'll talk to the American people. 3.9% unemployment, the lowest black unemployment in American history, the lowest unemployment for Hispanics in American history, the lowest unemployment for women in 70 years, the lowest black poverty rates in history. That's this administration's agenda. And by the way, as you smile and smirk over there, you should know this, the American people. Here's a guy who celebrated Bidenomics just this week, celebrating $28 million that came in your state because of the
Now, he's bringing up the CHIPS Act and he's bringing up all that stuff. But again, we're talking about debate. So I want you to look at DeSantis's fucking face again. Every time he gets slammed, he puts out this fake smile. Now, what he should be doing, instead of looking down at the index card telling him to look at the camera and be likable, he should be unlikable. He should now reframe it and become the very demon that he's supposed to be. So that way you shut him down and you make him look weaker. But he does not have that confidence. And I think ever since they took away his heels, he feels especially lower to the ground. And it seems like that has literally grounded him because he cannot fight for shit.
Chips and Science Act, one of the most significant economic plans since.
So there's that stupid face. Now let's move on a little bit further down the debate. and we start to see him wear down just a little bit. See, there's the eyes right there. He's starting to fade out just a little bit. Now, this is what happens when oversensitive people try to debate. You see that face, and notice Gavin, very calm, very neutral, because he knows that there is no real fight here. This is debate. This is one word against another word. You are not attacking the person. You are attacking their words. You are attacking the sources, the very, very, very words that come out of their mouth. That's what you need to attack.
In reverse, you want to roll back hard-earned national rights on voting rights, on civil rights, on LGBTQ rights, on women.
I love that he's bringing that up, and he's bringing up gun safety and stuff like that. I really wish he would bring up the phasing of Social Security and talk about something like that, because that's what they want. They want to rip it away from you, knowing that that's been the deal. I work my ass off, but then when I get old, you guys have to take care of me because I worked for you all my goddamn life. Now, I am on the tail end of this because my father passed away and I'm taking care of my family. So I see how this system works, and it is fucked. And if you think it's going to be here in 50 years with people like DeSantis, you're a fucking moron.
Women's rights, not just access to abortion, but also access to contraception. You want to weaponize grievance. You are focusing on false separateness. You in particular, Ron, are on a banning binge, a cultural purge, intimidating and humiliating people you disagree with. You and President Trump are really trying to light democracy on fire. So, Sean, there are profound differences tonight, and I look forward to engaging. But there's one thing in closing.
There it is. There it is. I do it, dude. Like, see, that's what I'm talking about. When you fucking when you learn to accept people for who they are, and you learn to appreciate them for who they are, you learn to catch their little nips. They're the little tells. You know, some people pull on their ears, some people scratch their face. I just watched a kid who just literally grabs his ears. It was really strange. But Ted Bundy, I noticed, would lick his lips every time he got excited. Whenever he would talk about a memory, he would lick his lips, like as if he was savoring that very little moment, trying to picture it. He'd even close his eyes. So it was like as if he was just taking a moment to say, fuck this conversation. I want to think about the last person I killed. And DeSantis has the exact same body behavior. So I swear to God, this is not a left-wing joke against a right-wing dude or anything like that. He has the traits of a psychopath. That's all I'm saying, is that his physical mannerisms are that of a psychopath.
Is neither of us will be the nominee for our party in 2024.
Oh, that was the best fucking insult ever.
Agree with. You and President Trump are really trying to light democracy on fire. So, Sean, there are profound differences tonight, and I look forward to engaging. But there's one thing in closing that we have in common, is neither of us will be the nominee for our party in 2024.
So then Gavin Newsom...
So again, slams the shit out of him. But in that case, he even took himself with him. And sometimes that's what you have to do. It's called mutually assured destruction, MAD. And so it's a legal term, but we also use it in argument, debate. It's a very simple concept in psychological strategy. Sorry. So, all right, we're going to look at one more. And I want to show you, now this is an actual scientific debate about life origin sciences and the pseudo Christian sciences that try to basically base everything off of a Bible. But then when you want to discuss the Bible, he will say, wait, are we here to discuss the Bible, or are we here to talk about creationism? Well, if you only have one source, I have to attack the source. So you'll notice this guy, he does what's called grease pigging. He literally just bounces from topic to topic and example to example to divert attention from his lack of knowledge on the first subject. So Professor Dave is absolutely great at capturing these things, these little activities, and he really nails it. So as he explains in these next couple of minutes, that speciation and young Earth creation. Well, first of all, young Earth creationism is stupid, and yeah, evolution is a observable fact.
We have observed the emergence of new species of microorganisms, plants, and animals. We know so much about it that we have terminology to describe the different kinds of speciation that can occur. If you understand biochemistry, none of this is surprising at all. DNA undergoes mutation. New genes means the expression of new proteins with the potential for novel functionality and eventually completely different organisms. This happens faster than one might think. Even a single point mutation can produce legs where antennae should be, additional sets of wings, and other remarkable changes. Kent will respond by saying that these are never different kinds of organisms. Well, what is a kind? This word is in the Bible, but it's incredibly vague. We can read about cattle, a creeping kind, and a beast kind. What is creeping? What counts as a beast? Who knows? Science is not vague like this. A species is a group of organisms capable of interbreeding. So if organisms can produce viable fertile offspring, they're of the same species. So is a kind a species? Well, then the argument is false. Speciation occurs. There are new kinds. Is a kind some other taxonomic category, like a phylum?
See, now what he's doing is showing that your syntax is absolutely crucial. So when you're using a word as general as kind, well, we have to define what is a kind. Is a kind a species, or is a kind a sex? Like, what is it? And this guy refuses to ever go there. And again, it's because he doesn't want to, he obviously is just hiding behind this one source. So as Professor Dave shows us these graphs, molecules, actual studies, and predictions,
deeper in the ground, which are older, are less and less similar to currently existing life, which supports slow change over time. This is such strong evidence for evolution that Kent will have to resort to claiming that the geologic column does not exist, but this is a baseless lie. Furthermore, we can figure out how old these things are with radiometric dating, another technique that Kent will desperately accuse of being invalid without any basis whatsoever. Isotopic decay rates are constant, and measuring their levels...
He's literally talking about isotopic decay. So, I mean, he is literally going from one topic to the very next, literally explaining life's creation from its beginning to now, according to all geologists, physicists, and all the realms in between. And so this guy straight up brings a Bible and a copy of Disney's The Green Mile to explain his side of the story. As soon as you bring those in as your sources, I would disqualify you, because debate is reliant on one main thing: falsifiability. And science is falsifiable, which means they leave you that door to prove them wrong, and you can't do it. So that's the best case we got. And so science is very precise. And so when people rely on things like astrology, religion, anything like this, it can easily be debunked. But you're always going to run back and say some book says a thing. And that is not how we live objective reality. It's just not. And so this guy is, I want to show you in real time, like show you exactly how he just slides away from this whole subject. And when he tries to ask him, well, what the hell is a kind, man? Like you say one thing, you say another, you say one thing and then another. And what he keeps doing is just bouncing. So
when you say things like frog turning into a prince, you're just revealing that you are a con man. Why are you saying things like frog turning into a prince and a car doesn't make itself from a tornado? These things are not valid analogies. You're saying that a tornado doesn't make a car. What the hell does that have to do with evolution? It's a man-made object. Your argument is basically there is a thing that is designed, therefore everything is designed. Okay, well, a snowflake forms spontaneously, so everything forms spontaneously. It's the same thing. The conclusion does not follow from the premise. It's not a valid argument. But you say these things to simple-minded people to trick them. I'm not
Absolutely.
simple-minded, so why are you telling them to me?
I think you are much more simple-minded than you realize. Let me show you the picture here.
Oh, really?
This textbook shows, and I got all the textbooks beside me, that a human and a bird have a common ancestor, which was an amphibian. Let's
Now
see,
notice
let me find a
the
family
moderator
tree that they
always
show.
just keeps his mouth
Here,
shut.
because
He's
I'm
a
making
terrible
frog with the
moderator.
prints, okay? They have these textbooks with these charts all the time showing all these animals going back to a common ancestor. Do you believe you have a common ancestor with a strawberry, Dave?
Yes.
Okay, you're welcome to believe that. That's not science. That's
Yes.
a religion.
No,
Yes, it is
that's
science.
science.
Nobody's
It
ever seen a
absolutely is
strawberry.
science.
Dave,
Yeah.
nobody's ever seen a strawberry produce a non-strawberry. You might get a bigger strawberry or
That's
diploidy,
not
but it's
what
still a strawberry.
evolution says happens. When you say dogs never produce non-dogs and things like that, you're mischaracterizing science. You're mischaracterizing evolution.
Remember when I said about reframing? That's how you do it. You mischaracterize. Now, again, Professor Dave is not falling for this shit, but that doesn't mean Kent won't just sit there and act like a douche.
Deliberately, again, to trick people into believing you. Nothing in evolution ever says that dogs produce non-dogs. Nowhere is that said. What does that have to do with anything?
Okay, Dave, calm down. Let's take that statement. Nowhere does evolution say dogs produce non-dogs. Is an amoeba a dog?
No.
Just yes or no. Okay. Did the dog come from an amoeba?
What? They had a common ancestor.
Dave, come on, yes or no? Did the dog come from an amoeba?
There you go. See, that's what they do. It's called reframing and generalizing. Now, you beat this sort of glittering generalities by destroying them with specifics. And that's what Dave already did. And because Kent has been a pseudo-doctor, he calls himself Dr. Kent. He has no doctrine. He has no education. He literally went to a fucking trailer in a lot. And Professor Dave proves this and shows the actual college he went to. It is straight up a big ass trailer in a lot, or it looks like a trailer in a parking lot. You straight up wondering where are the Christmas trees or the pumpkins every season, you know? It looked like a fucking abandoned fucking Circuit City. And somebody left a trailer out there. And that's straight up where you got your fucking info from. That's where your certificate comes from. So you went to a trailer and paid for a piece of paper. Whereas Professor Dave actually has these kind of fucking education, actually knows these studies, and just calls himself professor. Because only a douchebag would call himself a doctor with no doctrine. All right. And so the only doctrine he subscribes to is the holy doctrine, which he never allows us to even debate on. So, again, if you will not allow us to debate your basic one source, then you are hiding. And so this is why debate is crucial, because you will lose friends in an argument where you really shouldn't. And it makes you wonder, am I a bad person? Am I overly strong in my personality? Or are people just catching too many goddamn feefees? And honestly, it's the latter. Because when you speak to more intelligent people who are not simple-minded, they're not that easily offended, and they have a self-esteem to actually live on, so that they don't fucking deal with that shit. They can laugh at themselves. If you cannot laugh at yourself, you shouldn't be allowed to laugh at anybody else. All right. We have to learn how to accept things, take them apart, understand them, assess them, and then destroy it and laugh our fucking asses off, smoke some weed, and enjoy the rest of the night. Okay. Okay. So that's what I'm going to do for the rest of the day. I wanted to do the movie Sadness. That's what I was going to do this whole fucking episode about. And instead the damn debate came in. And I'll be honest with you, I actually just recently got in a stupid debate and person caught too many feefees and literally won't talk to me anymore. I don't really give a shit because, again, you cannot blame yourself for being intelligent. All right. You can only blame yourself for how you represented it. And in a debate, emotion has no place for debate. It just doesn't. All right. So remember, live your life as happy as you can and check your fucking feefees at the door. All right. And I promise you, you will live a much easier, stress-free life. All right. So that's the time I got. Love you guys. Love my golden mic. Hope to see you guys tomorrow. Maybe then we could do the movie The Sadness. Until then, I would definitely say check out the movie The Sadness. You can get it on Shudder, and it is very fucked up. And I haven't seen a person's head explode in a really long time. So seeing a president getting his face or getting a grenade shoved in his mouth is pretty damn refreshing after that debate.
Please note these are
Stay
a form of
cheesy.
social commentary and not in any way meant to put down the ideas and ideals of any political or gender identity. You are all fair game in the eyes of the wicked, and we see you. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go.
Oh shit! A pickle ring! Motherfucker!
You are now watching Useless Episode STS.
Because it leads to the future. Not a future that will be, but one that might be. This is not a new world. It is simply an extension of what began in the old one. It has patterned itself after every dictator who has ever planted a written imprint of boot on the pages of history since the beginning of time.
Dog will hunt. Fuck, suck, and eat butt.
Stupid. Yeah, what? Very stupid.
Welcome to the desert.